Greetings and salutations to all of you lovely, fluffy, non-fluffy, and equally as lovely listeners out there. I give you a bit of a mic test tonight because, I am currently recording this on my brand new ASMR microphone. So, I have a bit of a story for you to start this off because all I have this episode are stories. So let's talk about it. So the reason I have a new microphone is as follows. Last week, I was making a YouTube video, and a lot of you had seen the video, which I want to thank you for that. It was very kind of you. Let me just recap myself to make sure that I don't get any details incorrect. Let me just look here. Okay, here we go. So the video was entitled 14 Years, and that was about, I want to say like 6 days ago at this point, talking about my 14 years in the fandom, which, again, thank you all for sticking around as long as you have, some of you, and for making the last 14 years of my life just absolutely amazing. But I'll link the video if you want to take a look at it. Check the description or check it over the card over on the right side. But anyway, so I'm filming this video, and I am getting multiple microphone issues. And I mean, like, I never have issues with my main microphone ever. This is the mic that I use for everything. It is the gaming mic, it is the filming mic, it is the podcast mic, it's everything. I am having a particularly rough time trying to get this thing to work as I'm trying to film this video. And I don't know what's going on. It just it is constantly disconnecting. It just keeps disconnecting over and over and over again. And this never happens. I've never had this issue before. So I think, okay, well, maybe the USB port is just loose. Maybe, it's my computer doing something weird. Who knows? So after a few disconnections, I got a little frustrated, not gonna lie. Took a small break, and then I came back and I finished out the video. So thankfully for the last run of the video, it worked out, and it all was well at that point. But when I finished, now this is where the rub is. When I finished the video, I took off my paw, and I picked up the microphone to unplug it, put it away, whatever, put it back on a stand, and the microphone is hot to the touch. It is burning hot, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So the best way that I can describe it is it's the kind of heat that you feel when your laptop is sitting on your lap for too long. If any of you have ever had a really old, crappy laptop, you know how hot that thing used to get on your lap. It was like that. That's how hot it was. So not hot enough to just scorching, but hot enough to notice of ooh, that stings. And then before I can look down, I smell smoke. And then I look down and I see the microphone is smoking. No joke, I had a smoking microphone in my hand. The mic was literally hot in my hand. Gives a whole new definition to a hot mic, right? Yeah, so hot mic. I could not believe it. I was like, what in the world is going on here? So before even considering what had happened, I unplugged it immediately because I did not want that to disrupt anything with my main system, because far be it from me to ruin my entire system over the want of a nail or one small issue, right? So that's what I do. I unplug it and it cools off, and I think, okay, well, there probably is a loose wire or a short or something in the mic. And it's a USB mic, so it's not active in electronics, if those of you who know the difference between active and passive. So active electronics means that it has a power source. Passive means that it pulls from a power source, right? In not so many words. It's passive, and so there's no way that the power source inside would be a problem. It's not the case. So I'm like, okay, well, this kind of sucks. And so I had a smoking microphone about a week ago at this point. Oh my gosh. But I have to say, through the beautiful generosity of all of you lovely individuals, specifically one individual who helped out the most, I was able to get a new microphone, and here it is, and here's how it sounds. I hope it sounds good. I specifically want to shout out two people who helped me with this purchase, and by helped I mean like they were very kind to donate during a live stream. Spyro Blaze Dragon and Sharuto Wolvesian. These two individuals were very kind and very generous, in particular, to contributing to this fund, as it were, to buy a new microphone. And I have to say, I am forever grateful for your generosity. This was a complete donation. They did not have to do this, but they decided that it was worth their time and money. So thank you, Spyro. Thank you, Shelly, for both of your donations. I do appreciate it. Those were the main contributors, I just want to say. But, to those of you who also donated like $1, some bits on Twitch, and others, thank you so much for all of your love and support, and for allowing me to get the equipment that I need to make this career on this platform successful. So, yeah, love you both. Thank you so much. And I could not be here. I would not be here if it wasn't for you. I did resort to having to use my my backup microphone, which is more of it's a studio mic, and it doesn't have dynamics. So this is more of a compressor mic, which means that it picks up a lot more like room noise, as you can probably hear from like my heat running and Archie running around, which I kind of like that atmospheric kind of feel to a microphone. But the other microphone that I use is more for like voice work, voice acting, and it was a free microphone that I got from my workplace because we were having a drawing, and it was an Amazon drawing, so I got it for like $70, something like that. Anyway, so not bad, but hey, I'm just really happy to have this one. So thank you again, everybody, for your contribution. Whew, so that's a story to kick things off. But other than that, how's everybody's week been going? How's your November so far? Like, as I'm talking to you now, it is officially November. And to those of you who are in I would say certain parts of the United States, it has been daylight savings time. So we are officially fallen back an hour. I don't know really the reason for daylight savings time anymore. I mean, even the farmers have said that it's not really useful to their needs or crafts anymore, so I don't get it. I don't know why we need it, but somebody wants to educate me out there, then by all means feel free. So like I said, we're going to be telling a lot of stories this podcast episode, because there has been a fair amount since our last one. Something that I have to talk about, which I told myself I wasn't going to talk about, at least not off the cuff, right? Not easily, unless I really had to. And I have to talk about it, and I don't want to, but I have to, because it has something to do with me. Okay? So, I want to first of all say, before I get into this subject, okay, I am in no way, shape, or form, or by any means, advocating for this technology, nor do I support it, nor do I wish it on anybody or wish it as a replacement for artistry, productivity, or any other sort of medium. Okay, that is the disclaimer. I'm talking about AI. Okay, again, I don't like this topic. I don't like it. I have a lot to say about it, and you'll hear me say some things about it. So this may or may not be a hot take. I'm sorry in advance, but I'm also not sorry, right? The reason I bring this up is because a very lovely friend and individual whom I respect greatly was searching on Google one day recently, and they're actually looking for my reference sheet for some reason. I'm not going to go into why, but they were looking for my most updated reference sheet for something, and they happened upon. So basically, this friend Googled me, right? They happened upon something on Google, and they sent it to me immediately, and I could not believe what I was seeing. Okay. Somebody out there, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to give them any sort of advertising or traction. Somebody had created a character AI of my persona. So that means that there is a AI chatbot that is Samson Kitty Fox. I do not encourage you, or anybody for that matter, hearing this, to look it up or to use it. I am highly discouraging this, okay? The only reason I'm talking about it is because I'm hoping in some way that this will cease by giving attention to it, okay? Yes, long story short, somebody that I never met before, have never heard of, has made an AI chatbot of my persona, of my character. I took it to my other friends and those who are more familiar with, let's say, character AIs than I am, because I've never used character AI, so I would not know. And I said, is this real? So they confirmed for me that it was indeed a real AI chatbot in my persona's likeness. Not to mention, it went with some speech patterns. It took some speech patterns, it took some lines from my videos and some other places, my social medias and such, and it just, yeah, like, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was fake at first. I thought it was just someone maybe, grifting or something like that, but no, it's real. The reason I say that is because the people that I took it to used it, and it was responsive to their messages, and some of the things that it was saying was very sus in terms of like what I would say, and it has been confirmed to be real. So that being said, I am looking to find a way to get it taken down. You can, from what I understand, you can report people the creators who make it, but I don't think you can report the character or the chat AI character itself. And by the way, I'm not going to link this, okay? I'll just say I cannot stop you from Googling if you so desire, but by all means, I am discouraging that you use it because it is not me. It is not used with my permission, and I don't have copyright on my character, like a copyright what's the word, registration, I guess, as it were, on my character. It's very expensive, and I don't intend to do that, at least anytime soon. So yeah, needless to say, I'm not happy about this. I don't believe that it should be even a factor. Like, why would somebody make the time to create an AI of my persona is completely beyond me. I don't prefer it. So, and I'm not, I'm not upset about it. Like, I'm not like, raging about it either. It's like, it's in some sense, it's like, well, people are going to be people and they're going to do what they're going to do. Like, I'm sure that there's some unsavory things of my persona out there that I prefer not to find out. I mean, there are imitations of my YouTube channel that I've found before, which, those are easy. You just report them and then they get blocked and taken down because they are impersonation and also content stealing, right? But AI is a different animal because it doesn't exactly mimic you the way that it would be used because it's a learning machine, right? So the more lines that you prompt it with that of my persona or like my voice or whatever, which by the way, I'm thankful to say that the AI has not used my voice. It has not taken my voice clips or my voice notes and recreated a voice box. I'm thankful for that. There has been no video or graphic imaging either. It is literally just a chat box, right? But my friends, who once again are more familiar with AI chatbots than I am, noticed that there were patterns in speech that were very similar to what I would say in a video, or what I would say in a what I would say in a I guess a traditional YouTube sitting, or like a live stream or something. Um, so if anybody has any tips on how to get this taken care of, I would greatly appreciate it. But right now, I just had to rant about that and just say that I don't condone this. I did not make this. I did not approve this. This is not something that I wanted to happen. It's not something that I would have allowed to happen. In fact, the very reality of it just kind of disgusts me, not gonna lie, because why would you talk to AI that of someone that you look up to, like a care? I'm sure there's reasons why. Let me take that back. I'm sure there's reasons why people do it. That is your business. If you want to use AI and chatbots, that is your business entirely. I'm not going to stop you. But when it is a chatbot that is not me, as a matter of fact, I didn't have an issue. I take umbrage, and I prefer not to have it a thing or a reality. So, to this person who may be listening, who created the AI chatbot, I would really appreciate it if you take it down. I don't need it. Nobody does. Please do not use my character, my persona, to create an artificial chat that is not the real person and without their permission. And that's all I have to say about that. All right. Wiping your hands of that, wiping your paws of that. Let's move on. I'm sitting here and I'm getting kind of mad, so I'm trying not to make it a thing, any more than it needs to be. So anyway, let's talk about Halloween. Let's talk about Halloween and the lovely weekend or weekends that was. So, on our last podcast, I talked about a few things, but since then I've had a few little Halloween endeavors. I went to what was called Cornhenge in Columbus, Ohio. Basically, it's a large field full of these corn statues, which was a lot of fun. A bunch of us furries went out there in costumes and fursuits, and we got pictures. We had some fun. We had some candy. That was a good time. We ended up we ended up staying out there a good 3 hours, something like that. But if you want, I'll link a picture. I think I'll put a picture in the podcast video here so you can see it. That's me in front of a giant corn. Shout out to Ace Doggo for taking that photo. But we had a good time with that. And also met a very nice individual there who has been a watcher of my streams and videos. Shout out to Apollo Wolf. It was a great time seeing you and meeting you for the first time, getting to hang out with you. Thank you for that. That was Cornhenge, and had a great time seeing all the furries. And then after that, we went to a little event further downtown. I'm not going to say the name of it just because it's more of a it's become more of a private event in the recent months. But it was essentially like a little rave night in downtown Columbus, and been there many times. Had a great time this time, and it was Halloween themed, so I got to dress up and really enjoyed the vibe. Missed all the people there, and got to have a couple drinks and dance the night away, enjoy the coolness of the night, and just hang out and spend time with people and socialize. So it was a good little Halloween party that night, so really thankful for that. Speaking of Halloween, we had a Halloween live stream, a love stream on Friday, this past Friday. Thank you to all who came out to that. That was a lot of fun. Want to appreciate you for all your support and your love, and for showing up and having some candy and a costume contest, and just enjoying the evening with us. We had a great time. Thank you. And also, I want to pop up some art on the screen. A very, very lovely piece done by the fantastic and talented Izzy Scully. I've mentioned her before. I've mentioned her work. As a matter of fact, I've mentioned that the very podcast logo is by her. So here's some more art that she did, and I'll put that up right now. Here you go. This right here is the Candy Conjuring, as I like to call it. It is a commission that I had done for Halloween. I had a great time commissioning Izzy with that, and it was perfect for the Halloween stream. So big shout out to Izzy. Thank you for this beautiful commission, and for making this just a dream come true for the stream, and in general for Halloween. So definitely one of the better commissions I've ever gotten, because I love Halloween, and I love things spooky and scary things, and the way that you captured everything from the conjuring of the sweetness, and my little witchy face, and the flying pumpkins, just everything about it. I love it. So very, very artistic, and very very much a vibe. So thank you, Izzy, so much for your beautiful work. I really appreciate you. So that was the biggest highlight of the stream, was that artwork, and I could not ask for anything better. So thank you, Izzy. Appreciate you. Other than that, besides the stream, we had, okay. So after the stream, we were kind of bored. Me and friendos were bored after the stream, so we went to my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but the town that I live in right now, and usually Halloween is a big deal when it comes to the holiday. Well, any holiday is a big deal around here, but when it comes to Halloween, all of the college kids will dress up and will crowd out the bars like crazy. The bar lines were out the door this Halloween, so we decided to go downtown and check it out. So we got our costumes, and we headed down, and went and had dinner, got some tacos, and one of the one of the things that I want to mention about that night is not only were the bars crowded, but they also had discounted beverages. So, and they were pouring a little heavy that night. And I know this because I encountered a lot of people who were very, very under the influence of something. So whether that was alcohol, most likely alcohol, most likely alcohol, or other, right? But I encountered a lot of drug people that night, and here I am. I'm in my partial suit, my head and my paws, and I'm wearing my doctor's outfit, my Dr. Yitmu outfit, and yeah. So it was honestly a vibe. Somebody was like, "Oh my gosh, are you Mickey Mouse?" And I'm like, "No, not quite." They're like, "Oh, you look like Mickey Mouse," and I don't know where they got Mickey Mouse from, but I have no idea. Maybe they thought that because of my pointy ears, they look kind of mouse-like. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see Mickey Mouse in my in my likeness at all. My fursuit, but I don't know. What do you think, chat? What do you think? What do you think? Do I look like Mickey Mouse? Am I a Mickey Mouse impersonator? I have no idea. One other individual was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a furry," and then he turns to his, I'm assuming, girlfriend, and he's like, "Should I kill it?" And she just kind of shook her head, and that was it. But yeah, should I kill it? Like, I get it, dude. You're trying to be funny, but that joke died in 2008. Okay, we need to move on from that. So, gosh. And then comes to the main event of that night, which I need to tell you all about. I'm going to explain this story in a way that says, don't do this. Okay. So we've talked on this podcast and other places before, proper fursuit etiquette, right? When you see a fursuiter, sometimes your first instinct is to what? Run up and hug or squeeze them. Do not do that. Make sure that they see you first and then ask them if it's okay to touch them or interact with them in a way that you are so desiring, right? Well, this individual was walking with a group of three. We were walking down the street going the opposite direction, and there was an individual who came up, and they were, I could tell that they had had a few, right? They were already kind of deep in the substance that they were drinking, and the first thing that they do is they put their right hand on my chest, which already is a red flag. You don't do that, right? They just kind of put it on my right pec, right? And I was very taken aback, like, oh, okay. So I stepped back, like, as if to say that's not okay, and I shook my head, and then they're like, oh, sorry, like that whole thing. But again, they had a few drinks, but yeah, you don't put your hand on someone's chest like that, no matter their gender or what they identify as. Okay. That wasn't it. They asked me if they could take a picture. I nodded, slowly, just and cautiously, right? Uh, yeah. That reminds me of another story, which we'll get to after this one. But, anyway, continuing on. This guy, as he's taking the picture of us, he goes, I'm from England. We actually don't have any furries over there. And I'm looking at him like, dude, that's a lie. Like, I know he was drunk, but still, like, we don't have any furries in England. Really? You don't? I can prove that wrong immediately, If any of you UK furs are listening, you know that that's not true. Yeah. So that being said, he was like, well, I forgot to mention that before we took the picture, he was like, I've never seen a furry in real life. I'm like, all right, well, hey, I'm glad I can be the first one. He's never seen a furry in real life, so to him, it was a wildlife show. Like, to him, it was like being at a zoo, right? Might as well have been, because, oh my gosh, or Jurassic Park, right? And I'm just the raptor, coming up, and like, I should have done like the kaiju stance or something just to be funny, but nope, didn't do that. But anyway, I digress. So that happens, and then as he's walking away, and then he just shouts, "Thank you, furry!" And all of us just died laughing immediately. We were just like, "Oh, thank you, furry," and it just kept going the rest of the night. We just kept saying that. Oh man, that's one in the bank for sure. Of just like inside joke quotes that we can say to each other, and it's just funny, to your little group there. It's like, thank you, furry. So it just kept going. So, what a night, what a guy. Let me tell you, some of the people that you meet on the street, especially after a few drinks. I did have on a related encounter. We were walking up a different part of the street. We were ascending, and I'm just like, we're standing on the street corner, and I'm being all cute and whatever. I'm just kind of being like my Dr. Self, I got my paws, I'm dangling them, I'm trying to look all cute and waggy and stuff. And then this group of younger college females come up, and they start like immediately giving me attention. They're like, oh my gosh, you're so cute and everything. Like, one of them is they're all dressed like superheroes, right? Like, one is like Wonder Woman, the other one's Batgirl, another one's like Catwoman and all that. So like, they're all up in my grill, just like, oh, you're so adorable and stuff. And yeah, and then one of them is like, hey kid, can we get a picture together? And I just nod, because I should also mention, when I'm suiting in public, and I mentioned this before, when I'm suiting in public, I tend to silent suit. I don't talk. So, I want to give the people like the best experience that they can get. Now, I will also like squeak my paws, or I'll make noises like yip noises or something, or meow noises, and it makes the experience a little better, right? But anyway, so these college girls, they crowd around me, right? I got, I look like the player, right? I got one girl on each arm, like, yeah, right? And but before we take the picture, one of them just goes, all right, I'm gonna stand next to you, but don't try anything. And I just kind of look at her, and I just look all innocent. I just like put my paws over my nose, like, oh, please don't accuse me, like that, the pleading look of just like, oh, please, I promise I won't do anything, like that. And she melted. She was like, oh, okay, you'll be fine. But I just want to point out something very important. That little interaction, I just have to, I have to make it clear. I did the hover hand. Okay, so for those of you, this is so dumb, but it's effective. Okay, it's a little funny thing I like to do sometimes. Those of you who are not familiar with hover handing, right? When you take a picture with someone, particularly someone of either the opposite sex, or someone who is maybe younger, like, maybe could be under the age of 18, you're not sure. You want to be sure that well, first of all, your hands are in my case, my paws. Your paws are in sight at all times. That's one thing. But the other thing is when you put your arm around somebody, lest you know them, and I have sort of practiced this as sort of a more of a safety practice than anything, is hover handing. So it's when you put your arm around somebody, but you don't touch them with your hand, right? You keep your hand like maybe an inch or two above their shoulder, or wherever your hand is. Like if it's behind their back, you keep your hand like a distance away from, their form. So that's what I was doing, especially after that one girl commented, like, don't try anything. I'm like, oh, okay, well, clearly I got to be careful here. So I in this case, hover pawed them both, right? My paws were hovering over their shoulders. And it doesn't really matter when it's paws, because the paws are big and puffy and they don't look like that they're hovering anyway. So I did the hover paw and we took the picture, and that was it. So done. So just a little tip for any of you fursuiters out there. If you are taking a photo with someone that you're just not sure about, or you feel the need to be cautious with, and this is good practice for, I would say, most people that you take a picture with, just out of respect, try the hover paw, hover hand, hover paw, whatever you want to call it. Just try to keep a good ground distance between where your hand is and their form, like their figure, right? It will help, and if you it's actually kind of funny if you as a little something extra that you can do, if you look up specifically Johnny Depp, if you go to Google Images and type in Johnny Depp hover hand, you will find some really goofy pictures. Like there are pictures of Johnny Depp doing this with females in particular, where he's got his hand like hovering over their shoulder or hovering above their form. And some of the pictures look very doofy, like he's doing it almost like ironically, like sarcastically, right? It's really strange the way, because he hovers his hand like way too far off of their body, which I guess is fair given his past, but it does make for some funny content if you want to take a look at something. So yeah, it's a little treat for you. So when in doubt, hover paw. That's what I have to say to that. And that's honestly most of the stories that I have for you for this week. It's been a pretty insane week, past couple weeks, especially given the holidays. We are about a month away from MFF, and I can't believe we're already this close. Like, oh my gosh, it is coming up quick. MFF is coming up quick, friends. Here we come. So I hope you're ready. So that was a pretty crazy couple weekends. this week has already been a good start. Like, I had my therapy session tonight, and it worked out very nicely. We talked about doubt labels again, and we talked about some um, like relationship troubles and some things that I've been kind of thinking about. And um, yeah, I've been thinking about just as a little sort of side note here. I've just been thinking about relationships in general. Like, do I want to be in a relationship? And the answer, what I would say is yes, I would like to be in a relationship someday. I'd like to be romantic with somebody. I'd like to, pursue that type of relationship with them. But it's just been kind of difficult because, finding the right person, I think, is the biggest challenge. I think for my personal point of view, my struggle has mostly been with myself, like having to come to terms with a lot of things within myself and come to terms with making peace with my own demons and accepting who I am, and that way people will also accept who I am, because there has been a lot of insecurity, and for sure there has been a lot of insecurity. So sometimes it's hard to change, but it doesn't mean that you're doomed, right? It doesn't mean that you're doomed to fail. It doesn't mean that you're a lost cause, right? So that being said, I think it's a good place to end off for the night. I do have a sort of a parting gift for you, and this comes from Stoic philosopher and emperor of Rome, or former emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius. And I've talked about Stoicism before on this channel and many podcasts, but this is, as many of you know, I have a Stoic quotes book that I read from every day, and it just kind of gives it's a digital book, but it gives you a new quote every day, right? Today, Marcus gives us something to think about. And Marcus says, the whole universe is change, but life itself is what you deem it to be. I'm going to read that again. The whole universe is change, but life itself is what you deem it to be. So essentially what he's saying is, the universe changes, it warps, it twists, it has all of these like strangities and mysteries and just, unexplainable like happenings, and it just, it's basically saying the universe is not static, right? However, life as we know it is what we deem it to be. And I was funny reading that today. I was actually thinking about it recently. My mom used to say something that was very, very profound, and it gets you thinking. Your life is what you choose it to be. You choose the life you want, in other words. And even when you don't make a choice, sometimes you will still make a choice. Like, if you choose nothing, then you still have made a choice, right? So we were talking a few weeks ago on this podcast about cognitive dissonance, being faced with a decision and going into the mental tailspins of having to make a decision and being forced to. And sometimes you have three different choices. You can do choice A, choice B, or choice C, which is nothing, right? So whatever the scenario is, if you're faced with two choices of having to make a decision, and then the third choice is always there, that is doing nothing. And usually that is something, if we decide to do nothing, that is still a decision to be made. So that right there is a good example that life is what you deem it to be. Even though the universe is completely, like seemingly random at times, even if it does warp and twist and is unpredictable, that doesn't mean that your life has to be the same way. It doesn't mean that your life has to be tumultuous. Unexpected things will happen, yes, but oftentimes your life is what you determine it to be and what you decide. So that is some wisdom that I want to leave you with today from our friend Marcus Aurelius, former Roman emperor. So I want to thank you again. Shout out to Sharudo and Spyro for your generosity, specifically for getting this new microphone. I really appreciate it. I'm back in business with content making, so that's good. And I'm really glad that we got to share these stories together, everybody. Like, I love getting to sit down and just talk to you about my life. And, I've said it before, but this is in a way a therapy for me. And I do appreciate you listening if you made it this far and hearing, what I have to say. And I love to hear what you have to say, especially in the comments. So feel free to comment your thoughts and speak your mind in comments. I will continue to be transparent with you, just like I said I would be. And I appreciate you listening to everything that was said here today. So until next time, this is your friend, Samson Kitty Fox. Thank you for listening. And remember, sic Parvis Magna, greatness from small beginnings. Remember where you started and where you came from. And remember that your journey is not over yet. To those who stood up next to you from the beginning, to those who stand by you today, make sure that you tell them that you love them and that you appreciate them, because you never know what tomorrow will bring. There's greatness in every step, whether you create it or find it, because this is the journey that you're on. And be yourself. Be you. Always remember, there has never been anyone like you. There's no one like you right now. And there will be never anyone like you in the future. So live the best life that you can. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, who you can and can't be, or what you can and can't do, because that is for you to decide. And you're not done with your journey. You're only getting started. There is no other you, and only you can do the things the way that you can, the way that you do best. And as always, thank you for letting me do this every single day. I am forever in your debt, and I would not be the same person I would be today if it wasn't for you. I give all the credit to you for all of your love and support, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you. So until next time, I love you all so much. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Bye. Love you all so much. Meow meow.